What's going on, guys? Time for another recap. Time for some deep dive here. That's a pretty crazy volatility today, but we were at least ready for it. So what I usually like to do is start at the predictions over here on X / the old Twitter here, and see what we had posted, right? So 8 hours ago, pre-market, just before the open here, I only had one census for today, and we were starting into our third daily gap up, which I'm not very fond of that many gaps, so I was not looking for this gap to hold up. I was looking for that to fill. So we only had two targets. Our target long after a short open watch, so I wanted to pull back in the morning for a short open watch, and then pull back up towards the long, and then short target after yesterday's highs. So, or not after, short target is yesterday's highs. So long target as posted and circled, 518.32, target after a short watch open. After we hit the long target, I would like to see her come back down to yesterday's high. And after that, opening morning short. So let's go see how we did on the prediction. All right, this is what the price action looked like on the 5-minute chart, SPY. So again, the short fail open, we got a little bit over here. So we got that pop to pull, right? So it pushed up, fail, beautiful, down, found our low, squeezed right up to the long target, 518.32 prediction. Great. That is our Fibonacci on the 4-4. And if you missed any of the last videos of this prediction or how we predict this stuff, I'll put that in the video, or in that last video in the description so you can watch that. So again, we are on a third gap up, right? So we had gap 1, gap 2, gap 3 on the daily starting. And we said we're going to come up to the golden pocket as long as we stay inside the body of our big 4-4 engulfing. And that's this guy right here. And again, last video shows the breakdown of this. I won't get into that. But our target, first one, 518.32, golden pocket. Okay, that is the 50% halfway point of the engulfing candle, and we love to do fibs that way. So anything above that 100 fib, and my bold call is all the way back up towards 523.54 for the long. Not to say we can't get a couple down days and back test days. So again, gap 1 and gap 2, gap 1 could be tested. I don't think gap 2 would be tested, but worst case scenario, we do come back down to confirm the strength inside that candle, boost back up to that 523, but we'll still continue to watch progression. So the gap up today, again, those two targets, yesterday's highs and 518.32. Let's get into it on the intraday. So we had this little bit of a dip down, which we needed. And something that happened is we shied away that 100 EMA. This green line right here is a 5-minute 100 EMA. And I wanted to see a short down into the 100 EMA and then a relief back up. But it started to shy again, just like it did yesterday. So I'm like, okay, we're going to get another force up push. But this one probably just won't last. 3 gap ups on a week like this week where there's no big data hits. There's no Powell. There's no CPI. There's no large psychology. This is going to be daily driven off of very low volume squeeze ups. Fed speaks and world news, like all the war headlines we've been getting. So yesterday, again, this was a 100 EMA shy. So you notice I was looking for a 3-piece downside, which usually we do 1, 2, then we like to come into 3. That would have been a long hit on a 100 EMA 5-minute. I would have been more than happy to climb along that, but that didn't happen. No fruitation there. And then again, today we came into that shying the 100 EMA. So I'm like, okay, we're probably going to go for that dip in short like we were looking for, and then long into 518.32. So we got that move. We held above the -2 VWAP 100 EMA, squeezed right off the POC, almost to target. Consolidation, held VWAP in the purple there, right up to target 518.32. So after that hit, our target, like we said on X and Twitter, was long target here, short target yesterday's highs. So we have completed the long target, right? Now what is our long target? As usually a short entry. So when something is done with the long, we usually look generally to the bottom side. That happened right on the Fibonacci's 50. Right down to yesterday's highs, and then looped back, and she was done for the day. So a small update on some of the trades that we took. The opening gate short is what I took most of, and then I looked forward to see some upside moves, and then later on in the day, I missed this dump, and I seen it like way down here. So I did not trade anymore. It was not going to go for a full-on short after yesterday's high tag. It was most likely going to retrace, and that's what it did. So I do want to make a quick point and shout out to my chat on Discord. You guys found these gaps right here, which made us an extra couple thousand on the big account. We did over 5,400 today in the big, and I'm still tracking down the 15,000 for our small account challenge here. Well, medium account, because you guys wanted to see some of that. So let me grab that. This is the Ninja Trader box here. This is my real account here. We put 15 in, did 831 on day, and then we did another almost 1,800, and then after hours we did a little bit as well. So we're up to 18. There was a little bit of money left, and there wasn't exactly 15, but just under 18 grand. So we did like 2,600 bucks in the last 2 days on a $15,000 account. We're going to keep growing that. We're going to keep showing you how we grow that. medium size account with no prop firms, no drops, and no big accounts needed. Now back to the TA here. So again, so the Qs, right? I'm really big on gaps. You see me post them on the futures all the time, but I'm also very big on intraday gaps on the indices. Okay. And one of my members pointed out, they're like, hey, we have two gaps here. And I'm like, oh man, like I didn't have it on the 1 minute chart. I was looking at some other stuff and they were 100% right. Qs actually left a gap open right here intraday. Boom. And then we also had another gap, which was easily fillable on the long side of things. Similar to this one filled right away. Let me back up here. Try to get it all into perspective. There we go. All right. So as we were coming down into this, I was like, oh man, we just need one bit of support and we're going to get this long going on pretty good. And you can see right here, just dipping the toes in the water, 200 SMA 1 minute is what the Qs hit before it took off and then had to go chase down this intraday gap. These intraday gaps, it's extremely rare for an intraday gap to stay open. It usually fills same day, very rare. Sometimes they do last a few weeks open if we did get some parabolic crazy run. So on and so forth, that does happen, but more often than not, we will see that. Now, we did have a little bit of a gap, another gap right under this that popped back up and filled right away. And then we had the secondary gap. So we all went long right here on that call, right after 200 SMA and chased down the gap fill here, push, push, and boom. And then, of course, it squeezed out past there and gave us the remainder of the long up to target on SPY, which was our, let's go back over there. Oh, just typed it in, didn't even move. Bam. Was our 518.32, and I drew this box out here prior to because we had a bunch of volume profiles. Now, from that long on the Qs gap was a really good indentation that we had a double gap above us, so price action was going to head back up. Well, it popped up, had a really boring consolidation as the moving averages caught back up because the SPY did the same thing. So here is the 200 SMA in the peach dash. Here is the tag of the 200 SMA 1 minute, same as Qs, and then once it hit that, boom, boom, she was off and away. And squeeze. Now, large consolidation, finally hitting target here and then wiping out to our secondary short target. So most of those big trades were taken at the early morning wash here. So I can go over a couple of these. Mainly at SPY is what I play the small account on, but we're going to start with Qs. There we go. So this little double top right here, we had a really good opportunity for first VWAP tag. And what that is I like to see a VWAP tag a lot of the time out of the gate. So this one is, again, the ideology was not holding a third gap up. I did not want to see another daily gap. We have two already pushing into the third with no catalyst for it except for war headlines and Fed speaks. Not going to happen. So we were expecting that downside to yesterday's highs, which is that orange dashed line. So if we see that first opening pop, we seen right here, there was no tag of the 100 EMA or the VWAP in the purple, and it just had a huge push up. Like, okay, first VWAP tag is always good. So you shorted the pop, which is what the plan was, right to VWAP, get out of your short and VWAP, look for the push, right back to resistance, and you can see we had lower high divergence, big wave divergence here in the MAC, and surrounded by seller volume after the crack. So we had seller volume here that is on the 1 minute, take that as a grain of salt, but as that came into fruition, we did get a lower low, boom, and again, that 200 SMA 1 minute was shied right here, hit right here and then gone. So the opening morning short play is what I wanted to, we posted up on Twitter, first the short. So coming back down to pop, boom, boom, and then way up to target and back to yesterday's highs. So all of these little tiny pieces of scalp ended up coming just from those predictions. So let's look at one more little thing. We had another, I'll save that one. We had another look for on the end of the day here, the end of the day wash. I did want to point something out too on these end of the day washes here, where you can see a lot of divergence here. The 1 minute, I mean, it's it's used just all the time for us here at BRT. And it's something that you guys want to pay attention to for item reversals. Like these candles, just they tell you, these wicks and these awkward looking candles like this, right in that 200 SMA, so on and so forth. Very, very, very clean here, even for the Qs. So when this thing broke back down to the 50 and started losing that 50 RSI, there's a good chance that we lose the top box of the RSI, because if you look way back here, this whole consolidation was just chopping the 50 line and actually staying more to the downside on RSI than anything. So we were kind of gearing up for the short, but it had to push all the shorts out to a fresh high before it wiped out, because that's just what algos do. Very similar to a lot of the plays that we've seen. How could you have afforded to play this play, right? Like how do you manage just a giant box like this? And a lot of the times, if I box out price action like this, I'll accompany it by a fib. So we're getting a bunch of bases, we're getting a bunch of highs, and these bases are hit multiple times as long as these roofs are as well. So we got 3 of them right here, another one for bottom box, bottom box, bottom box, and then it finally right back to the top again and finally let loose. How in the world do you navigate that? Well, when you get a big consolidation point like that, I do like to just high-low the fibs at the points of interest here. Boom, boom. And this will help me determine what kind of slippity slide is happening here, because once it starts to break down underneath the 100 fib, and this is what we always use fibs for, we're going to get that range. Watch. Scoot it in here so we can see it. There we go. So this consolidation range, top to bottom, built a box off of it, right? And then you can see when she starts to fail, came back down to the 100 fib, right? Came back up, 0 fib, came down, 100 fib, lower high, lower low. Okay, now we really got to start watching for the pop to short after a sequence is broken, but that doesn't happen right away. Generally speaking, this thing will push up, screw all the shorts over, and then go down. And this is where, again, hard open closes happen. So if I was a short player here, I would not stop out till candles were developed above my zone, hard open close, which means an entire candle is open and close above the level here, right? So I need candles to start doing this action above the box, not just a little push back into the level and then wiping out, or a little push under the level and coming back in. That is not a stop out. That is not a candle developed outside of the range, okay? There are no candles developing outside of the range like we've seen here. The range is still the range because it's closing inside or snapping back with zero trend outward. So I would be a short player here, generally speaking, because we covered the RSI, right? So you can see on the 1 minute chart, we spent way more time on the bottom of the RSI than we did the top, and we were chopping the 50 for a while. So we knew some of these big fake pushes up could easily be reversed back down, judging by the RSI. And then let's look at our downside targets and how this would have worked out the end of day. So we finally broke out, and you know my rules for the box of the fib, box that sucker out. First target, 1618 from the short. Finally breaks after a high, right? Slams down right through the 1618, consolidation, boom, right to the 2618, a little bit more to VWAP, and ended up just sideways after that for zero momentum. But the biggest takeaway from this is that this Fibonacci zone up here could have easily been traded, unless you're sizing in and YOLO in your account, by a very simple average in. You could have been short anywhere in the Fibonacci box, waiting for a big candle, hard open close above it, so big candle development, and we didn't get that. We had got just so many sequences saying, yeah, well, RSI is low, RSI is low. We never got to the hot zone, so there was nobody that actually wanted to push this thing higher. We only got to the cool zone on that RSI, and then when we got that beautiful kickback down and that wash, that secondary wash came all the way down right here, popped up. You could have easily shorted this right down to the 2618. This is getting a little extended the downside. I would have been like iffy on that one, but we finally came back and tested those moving averages too. So this would have been a play if I was around for this one. That would have been how I would have played that end of the day terrible consolidation. And a lot of the times when you get these high-low ranges here, these intraday fibs, even off the 1 minute, we do high lows, we do very specific candles, and how we read these candles at BRT and Trade Garage here, it's very, very different than a lot of people use these Fibonacci. So I would have made a sequence right here where we had a fresh low and then a fresh high. I would take this fresh low, fresh high right here. Okay, I had to click it about 18 times for TOS to set the drawing. And then I would have played this to the up or down side. So once we could never get a hard open close again below that zero line, way down here, we held that fib range, because I love these just wide open fib ranges. And once again, we would recoup here. Look at this golden pocket consolidation, cup handle pattern, goes from low to high RSI, right, for that big push up. Were extension targets 1618 and 2618. Generally speaking, for me, and I'll go over one more example after this, 1618 goes back to the 100 fib a lot of the time, the first part. So 1618 is your first goal, and you should be out usually 80% of your position long if you are in here for the fib box. So if you were here from the golden pocket pushing back up, you are up substantially. You broke out of the 100 right to the 1618, pulled, nothing, pulled, still shying, pulled, and boof, all the way back down. And look at this one, right outside the range, snapped right back in. But regardless, we got some static there at the golden pocket. Here's what the golden pocket is. That's where a ton of this awkward candling was. For another one, and I would have used that intraday to play a beautiful long and then watch for a short break under the 1618 to come back down to the 100 fib, and then through that would be the golden pocket. That one was a little fast, but usable. All right, last example, but not least, we had a algorithm here on the ZQs. Was this guy right here. And a lot of my old videos and current ones, we talk about these algorithm candles. This is on the 5 minute made. And let's go over this one right here. This is the one we mainly used this morning, okay? So the rule of thumb is we have the Fibonacci box, and whenever we go over the 100, we tackle the 1618, and then we usually trend back down to the 100 fib, right? So how that played out today as we were trading this live, let's take a peek. And this is where we made a lot of our moolah this morning. We don't need this at all. Let me shrink this down and just look at the price action on the candle. So again, Fibonacci box, algo, okay? Anything above the golden pocket, we're going to go long through the 100, right? So shied it, broke all the way through. Oh, lo and behold, where did we hit? 1618 to the T. Could not break through the 1618, broke back down. This is where we made a bunch of money on our short right here. And I said, once we break through the 100, where do we usually go? Golden pocket, right? So in between, boom, 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 boom. Above or below, so it's always 61.8 or 38.20. Our fib box, and look at our support, boom, and higher low, boom. And we are surrounded by buyers coming out of that zone, surrounded by buyers coming out of that zone. So a lot of signals, even from just before 9 a.m. they're telling you that a decent higher low and a decent push was going to happen. And remember, the 1 minute had those gaps above as we were going to come down and track those down here for the push, as the good trade, the normal trade, already happened. 1618, back to the 100, boop, back to the golden pocket, boop, and then re-breaking out, trying to track down the 2618, right? But that one didn't happen. That one is, you know, I'm usually out at 80% of the 1618, and generally speaking, getting that 2618 is pretty rare. But we did have a fall apart here before the 2618, right back down into the algo's golden pocket, and we did not break through that. So again, this algo here, this whole fib is one we used. Such a beauty, right? And then right back down to a lower low for the day and filling on SPY, and that's what you did. So hopefully that recap makes sense and a little bit of training on Fibonacci's, and we'll keep coming to you with daily videos and updates on the accounts. Stay tuned for the next.